Yo, what's going on, guys? It's CoJoMo here, back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about one thing that players are still doing wrong inside of Counter-Strike 2, and it's going to involve the smoke blowing open mechanic that was introduced when this game first came out. I'm going to talk about how you can blow it open like a pro, some really high level concepts to think about while you're doing this so that we can make sure you can level up and start to understand these concepts that maybe you shouldn't understand at the low level that you're at. So before we get into that, I do have to give you a message about how to get the best Counter-Strike 2 skins inside of the game. Thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Skins Monkey. They are one of the greatest and easiest to use CS2 trading sites out there. You can swap out the skins you do not like for brand new ones that are so much more fresh. Even skins that are trade locked can be secured by adding them to your backpack. The greatest thing about the site is that you can buy skins for so much cheaper with a 35% deposit bonus when you use my code, CoJo. Make sure to check out the freebie section where you can get a free skin just by completing tasks. On top of the bonuses, you also get a $5 bonus when clicking the link in the description. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and talk about smoke blowing open, the do's, the don'ts, what we should be doing, what we should be not doing, in order to make sure that we are just literally destroying players with this concept. Now, the first thing that I want you guys to understand and think about when you're blowing up these smokes is the fact that you don't want the grenade to bounce more than it has to, right? So say the T-side through these wall smokes, we don't want to sit here and throw a nade like this because it makes so much noise and pretty much tells the T's, hey, I'm throwing a grenade, it's about to break open, right? So anytime that we can, we want to make sure that the smoke is being blown open without noise. Like this. Boom. Do you see how it didn't hit the ground? It didn't make noise, it didn't alert them, it just blows open. Now, there is an easy way to make sure that this can happen. I'm going to go in mid here so you can see it a little more clear. Is we are going to utilize the fact that you can throw grenades in many different ways, right? So I'm going to right click on my mouse, right click, and then crouch and look in the air and tap my left finger on the left click, right? Tap it and boom. And that wouldn't even hit the ground a little bit, so it wasn't the best. But get really good and literally just get into a server and understand how much you need to hold the buttons, you know, how long you need to tap left click for, because it's really hard if you don't know what you're doing. But once you start to understand how to do this mechanic and concept when it comes to nades, you can start slinging them around and it becomes like second nature to you, right? So way too many people are doing that. Don't just do a right click because that's not going to be good. That's not going to be high enough. You have to utilize the feature where you right click and tap left click, right? Because you don't want this. Now another thing I want you guys to think about is when we're blowing open the smoke, have an idea of what you're trying to peek, what angle you're trying to hold. Way too many players, when they're blowing open this smoke, they're just kind of standing in the middle here, which is okay if you're getting a 1v1 fight, but in this situation, we're trying to catch off the T's as they're transitioning to site, and if we blow it open and we're just standing in the middle of the open, guys, all the T's are going to be able to just frag you, and even if you get one kill, their teammates are going to be able to trade you so easily, right? So one thing I like doing is when these smokes are down, I like having an idea. So I'm going to blow it open and then get over to this angle. Boom. And then if they're crossing and nobody's swinging me from the left side, that's when we can open ourselves up, right? But just like you're holding an angle without the smoke, you know, don't expose yourself to more than you have to be. Make sure you're able to get behind cover. It doesn't matter what we're blowing open, where we're at. This concept is extremely important, right? Being able to get behind cover and make sure that we're not exposing ourselves. Very obvious, but when people are blowing up the smokes, they're not thinking about that. They're not understanding that, and it's very detrimental. Now, let's go ahead and go over to window now. We'll talk about another CT situation here. You might want to blow up in the window smoke as a CT, right? You might want to sit here and do that. But one thing that T's are starting to do is they're starting to post on these very common smoke angles where they're going to be blown open. I see Oppers posting here. You know, Oppers getting ready to get a frag on someone like that. So what you need to start doing is if you're with a teammate, your queue, duo, trio, you're on a team, it's so good to ask for a flash while you're doing that. You don't have to exactly tell them what you're doing, but you just be like, hey, can someone flash over mid? And your teammate's like, yeah, I got you, bro. And they're flashing over mid as you're throwing the grenade to break it open so that you can have a flash peek, and it is just so good. A lot of low-level players aren't thinking like this, and they're not combining these two features with how they should be done. It is so good and so easy to do that. Very, very nice, very nice. Let's hop back over here to the A side of the map. One thing you can do with these smoke breaks too is you can do some next level stuff, right? So say you're in like a 3v3 situation, you hear them crossing the site trying to get bombed down. you can use these nades as a distraction, right? If you want to, do something crazy, you can nade jungle, you can nade the bench smoke, and then jump through the stairs smoke like this and try to frag them, because a lot of times what's going to happen is when this smoke gets blown open, everybody's going to be looking at that blown open smoke, and you might have a timing, or your teammate, you can say your teammate up with a timing to get through here and start fragging as that smoke's being blown open. It's so good, it's so valuable, and you can use this on every map no matter what the situation is. One of my favorite things on T side is, if we smoke top con off, a lot of times the CTs are not as worried because, like, we could lurk through here, but whatever. But if we have a teammate that's boosted in the window, a really good thing we can do is blow open the smoke, start putting pressure on this side of the smoke, doing this, because if there's someone in jungle, they might stop looking. Maybe the teammate got through window when it was smoked off and he's in this angle or something. Maybe now this guy is not as worried about jungle, or the CT guy isn't as worried about this jungle position, and they go and they tunnel vision on connector, leaving these lurk timings so open for you to be able to get through and just make some next level plays, right? Looking at the T side of things now, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It helps me out so much. It's so valuable, again, to be able to pop with these nades, right? So from the CT's perspective, with this situation, that would be like, oh, we're good, guys, like nobody's gonna come out ramp because they're smoked off, right? And sometimes CTs will get sneaky and they'll play behind the smoke up here. I love doing this in my games because it's just such a good power position. If they start flashing out ramp, if you get blind, you can go in the smoke. If you're not blind, you can just sit here and farm. So CTs are gonna play close like that a lot. So one of the best things you can do is literally have all your teammates ready to go, have a teammate maybe flashing for you guys, and you just blow through this, boom, and then we catch that guy with his pants down because he is so exposed now. But regardless, with that nade, we're running through the smoke, and it's like the smoke doesn't exist, and we can pop so much faster, right? You can do this across the board, like no matter what position you're in, where you're at. If you have a smoke down cat as a T side, you could have a teammate close to that wall, you nade for him and he gets ready to fight, boom. It's all about being unpredictable and unexpected, right? So it doesn't matter, guys. On CT side, a lot of times the T's are going to throw this smoke, right? They're going to block off connector with this. So we get ready, right? Maybe we have a teammate sitting on cat here and the smoke won't be here, right? Maybe we have a teammate sitting on cat getting ready to peek. We're like, guys, we hear them running up cat, they're running up cat. So we blow open the smoke, the con guy's fighting, and then when he starts fighting, this cat guy swings and has the freest fights in the world because the T's are so distracted. These are some next level concepts and ways to use the smoke breaks that I don't see enough people utilizing, and it's just so valuable. It's so important. Now, some of the wrong things I see people doing on T side and CT side is, guys, when we are in a heavy man situation, advantage situation, we don't need to necessarily break open the smokes, right? Now on CT side, if we're in like a 5v3 situation, right? They throw these smokes, they throw their execute. We don't necessarily have to take these risks and try to blow open the smoke with a nade and do all this. If anything, use your nade for sight then, right? Use your nade for sight to get that little chip damage, because we already have the advantage, right? We already have the advantage. We don't need to break open the smoke and try to get more, right? Same thing on T side, guys. If you have the advantage, you want the smoke wall to be there, right? For you on T side, if you're in a 5v3, you want that smoke wall to be there because you don't want any more risks than you already have to take, right? You want to just get bombed down and play that 5v3 post plant. You don't want to risk, pulling your nade out, trying to blow something open, and then either get killed in the 50-50 fight or get killed as you're trying to nade it and all the stuff that can happen, right? And in general, I just see players on T side messing up a lot by blowing open these smokes, especially on a map like Mirage. There's not really any reason to necessarily blow open these smokes, guys. Like, what I mean? This is your friend. These smokes are your friend. If anything, you want to just throw a molly behind them, make sure no one can scale. But when you're like blowing these open and trying to go for these fights, you're only helping the CTs. Like, truly, I see way too many players just going for that, and it's detrimental to you improving and making sure that you can actually get on the site. It's a mistake I've made. It's a mistake that everyone makes, and we can do much better with that. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Not the craziest information in the world, but it's just something that can help you understand the game a little bit better, and that's what's important at the end of the day. Stay tuned to my videos tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I post every single day for you guys, and I just want to help everybody get better and continue to play the game that we love. So appreciate every single one of you. Watch the video on your screen right now. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out. Peace out.